Just an absolute ton. So we got rumors from the combine. First and foremost, you have Derek Carr meeting with the New York Jets for the second time. And I am a fan of this because I am a Derek Carr fan. I think it is the number 2 option, probably 1 or 2, depending on what your take is. Him and Aaron Rodgers are towards the top of my list and most people's list in general. You have some hopes and dreams. Lamar Jackson, I'm putting in the hopes and dreams category for most. I don't think that's a super realistic one. And then you have fallback options like Jimmy G, Ryan Tannehill, and then we cry after that. But we'll get into some of those options because Albert Breer was talking about the New York Jets and their potential, not definite, but their potential interest in guys like that. But Derek Carr's second meeting, why is this important? Well, it shows that both he and the Jets are taking this seriously, and supposedly there is mutual interest there. It's just of the understanding that Aaron Rodgers is their number 1 option, and then number 2 is probably where you would put Derek Carr after that, and that's probably where I put it. I understand if you're annoyed with Rodgers. I'm getting pretty close to that point. It's stressful. I have the anxieties cranking. I hate just this waiting game, waiting for a quarterback to finally figure out what the hell it is that they want to do. But this is the unfortunate situation you are in when you miss on number 2, and Zach Wilson doesn't look like the answer going into year 3. This is the spot that you get put in, and it's not very fun. I don't really care for it very much. I wish it wasn't this way, but it is what it is. Derek Carr meeting for a second time is big. He's going to meet with the Saints and also the Panthers for the first time. I don't really consider them a true Derek Carr contender. I think they are more than likely going to go through the NFL draft. To me, I think that's the obvious choice. That's where I would be looking to go if I was them, to go through the draft. They tried a retread option with Sam Darnold. That did not work. They tried a retread option with Baker Mayfield. That did not work. I think it's wise for them to try to find their next young franchise quarterback through the NFL draft. So I don't see Derek Carr going there, but the Saints are very realistic opportunity for Carr. They would probably be the best team in that division, I would think, if he signed there, and they'd have a very good chance to win that division. Tampa Bay is going to be going into the tank mode. The Falcons are not anywhere close to competing yet, and obviously then that would leave the Panthers with a young quarterback, and maybe they take that big step with really good coaching in Frank Reich. But from talent perspective, Derek Carr can go to the Saints, and they could be very, very good. They kind of hung around with pretty garbage quarterback play last year, and think of getting average quarterback play. That would definitely improve their chances, I would think, anyway. And supposedly some good news on the Derek Carr front, if that's the direction that you want to see this team go, is his price is going to be significantly lower, potentially, than originally anticipated. I think most assumed 35 plus, maybe up to $40 million. I did a video where I did a projection. It was like 37.5. I split the difference between 35 and 40. Supposedly, Carr is asking for 35, and Albert Breer of SI was reporting that he doesn't expect it to get up to 35 million, that it could actually come under that, which is good. And then that means you're paying him outside of the top 10 in terms of AAV anyway. If he signed at 35, that would put him 9 with Kirk Cousins, I believe. And then right under that, you have guys like Jared Goff, who's at 33.5. Matt Ryan's at $30 million. I'd be absolutely floored if it got below that. But hey, if you're getting Derek Carr at $30 million a year, I'm on board with that. And I understand why so many are like, just sign him now, please, just sign him now. And I get it. I'd be happy if Derek Carr was the quarterback. But I don't think Derek Carr wants to sign with anybody right now. I think he wants to take his time with this. He has until the start of the new league year. I think it'll be before that, which is, 2 weeks from today, Wednesday. By the time you're listening to this, it is in 2 weeks. I don't think it's going to be right this second. The following week probably looks like the window. You're going to hear some rumors this week, would be my best guess for what's going on in the end of February into the first week of March. Second week, That's when you maybe see some dominoes fall with the quarterbacks, and then you get the people ready to go for the new league year starting on March 15th. That's when things open, and that's when things begin to become ready to go. Which leads you back, right, to what your potential original plan is with Aaron Rodgers. The tough spot, because he still has yet to tell Green Bay what his actual plans are. So he's been out of his darkness for about a week now at this point, has not informed Green Bay for what he wants to do. Okay, I understand that. I get it. He has every right to do it. You're just back in that boat. You are playing this waiting game. And the Packers GM says yesterday at the Combine that Jordan Love's ready to start in the NFL. They believe that he is ready to start. So one of two things is going to happen for Green Bay. Number one is they move on from Aaron Rodgers. They trade him. He goes somewhere else, or he retires, which I would put at pretty slim chance that happens. He's not giving up that money. And then you start Jordan Love. Or if Rodgers magically comes back to you and says, "Hey, I want to stay," and the Packers go, "Okay, yeah, we'll run this back again, and see if we can win a championship in the next year or two," then you're trading Jordan Love. Now, do you, the Jet fan, want to go down that road to where you are trying to acquire Jordan Love? There's potential upside there, but man, that is a big risk, in my opinion. I hope it doesn't get down that far. That's plan what? 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere in that window. He could be a franchise quarterback, but he hasn't played enough to where you have really any sort of clue what he is. And I don't want to take that gamble with the state of the rest of the roster. I want someone who could come in who can play. Carr, can play. Rodgers, can play. Jimmy and Tannehill, I don't like as much, but if they're healthy and on the field, that they can play. You think Love can play, but you don't really know. He's gotten better year over year, but it's been extremely limited sample sizes in a nice situation there in Green Bay. Would that be the same here? You can make that assumption, I guess, but that's all you're doing is you're assuming that he can do it. You haven't really seen anything yet where you have the indisputable evidence that, yeah, he could play. Of course he can. No, that's a big, big gamble. Right now in the AFC East, you have Buffalo, who's really, really good, but I don't think the Jets can't compete with them if they don't have an Aaron Rodgers. If they have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, then I think the Jets could absolutely compete with them, is I guess a better way of wording that. They beat him once with Zach Wilson, and they were in that game in Buffalo with Mike White starting at quarterback with broken ribs. And Joe Flacco tried to give that game away the best he could, and they were still in that one to the very end. So this defense can hang, that. Miami, who the hell knows what's going on with Tua? Can he play? Can he stay healthy? He has not once proven that he could stay healthy for 3 years. He's suffered multiple concussions. Can Tyreek Hill repeat that stellar season he had this past year? What do they do at running back? There are a lot of questions there. Solid team. They made the playoffs as a wild card this past year, but they're not light years ahead of where the Jets are. And to be honest with you, if you add in Rodgers, the Jets should be ahead of them. And then you have the Patriots, who, you have to give credit to Bill Belichick because he's one of the best to ever do it. But I don't have a ton of faith in Mac Jones. I don't have a ton of faith in the rest of that offensive, room. The defense is solid. They have a solid defense and they're coached well, but that offense still leaves a lot to be desired. We'll see if Bill O'Brien can revive them. On the offensive side of the ball, again, I think they need more weapons. Jacoby Myers is a free agent. He might not be back. And outside of that, you have Steve Ramondre, who's been pretty solid as a rusher, but in the passing attack, Hunter Henry's okay. Jonnu Smith's been a massive whiff, and not much else. There really isn't much else there. So there's a path to being extremely competitive and to potentially be the division winner in the AFC East, especially because the Bills they've kind of underachieved. They have yet to reach a Super Bowl under Josh Allen. They've had a bunch of quality teams. They lost to, Kansas City a couple of times. They lost to the Bengals this past year. It's a tough road, that AFC, and it's not easy. I think Tom Brady really skewed a lot of our views with championships, because you're like, oh, well, that guy has like 7 championships, or, God knows how many championships he has. So if you don't have 2, you're a bust or you're a bum, like Rodgers only has 1. When that was originally like the bar, right? You win a Super Bowl, you're a Super Bowl winning quarterback for the rest of your life. And then it was, Brady has 99 million. So you only have 1, you're poverty, which is just, I hate that's how we look at sports, but it's the reality.